Now, okay,
Yeah.
obviously you've just put your faith in Jesus again, and you kind of have this rose-colored eyes, or whatever that is called. Whatever that is,
Right.
whatever that saying is, and
Well, you can
obviously
almost hear
things
the
that-
angels singing, like, what, this is going to be beautiful.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We've all had that
Yeah.
moment, At what point did you feel like God was rewriting the story, and that He's a better author than us, and that this was actually going to be okay? Like, because
Boy.
you have a really
Yeah.
incredible perspective.
Yeah, it didn't
through
always.
this.
You've probably heard the phrase, life's 10% of what happens and 90% of what you make of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
I've heard that all my life, and I finally started believing it a while
Yeah.
back. But I was surprised when I actually, even though I knew I was supposedly going to prison, and my plea agreement said I could go to prison, when I stood in front of the judge in the courthouse and he said, "You're going away for 5 years," I remember going,
Yeah,
"Uh-oh."
yeah.
Hadn't thought that. I saw it coming. I'm literally like speechless, riding the elevator down with my attorney going, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm married. My wife's pregnant. What am I going to do? I guess she wasn't pregnant at the time, but
Yeah.
what am I going to do? And so, yeah, over time and a lot of prayer and just some of the few friends that stuck with us, it was very clear God placed a few people in our lives. One of those people is my wife worked for a publishing company, and they did work with Chuck Colson.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Was it Forgotten
Man Ministries.
Forgotten Man Ministries. Yeah.
Great ministry, yeah.
One of the days that she was at work, she had the opportunity to share with Chuck Colson, who was in there for a meeting, that I was going to prison, and he was just absolutely amazing. And he got us plugged in to the whole prison fellowship ministries,
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
normally you do after you're out of prison.
Yeah.
But he actually got us connected beforehand.
Neat.
And so we actually got surrounded by a group of guys. Sorry, get emotional about it.
No, you're good, dude.
And it was so cool. We were sitting having dinner with some of them, and they looked at us, and Beth and I are there, and they're like, "So how are you guys going to protect your marriage?"
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, really good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
Was hoping
Yeah.
you'd tell
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I swear this was an angel. I never met the man again. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I remember he looked at us calm, and he goes, "It's real simple." He goes, "You both." He looked at me. He goes, "You need to do it." And he goes, "Beth, you need to do it. You need to focus on Jesus Christ and not on each other."
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm going, now that ain't going to work, because I gotta, it's my wife. I gotta,
Right.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to provide. I'm just, as a guy, I'm thinking all these things. And he's like, "Jonathan, you need to focus on Jesus Christ."
Wow.
Man.
And I remember thinking, okay, that's a really good concept. I'll try, but it ain't going to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I do
And
this?
that was it. We just, we didn't think about it. But then as time went on, that became really clear. Prison, the hardest part for me was the fact that I got to talk to Beth. I don't remember exactly how many minutes. I think it was like, I'm probably wrong, but it was a few hundred minutes a month. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
not when you're.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that's your only time to talk. And mind you, I was 10 and a half hours away. She was 5 months pregnant when she dropped me off. So it's not like she could just make a weekend trip over with the baby and come see me anytime she wanted to. It's not a practical thing to do.
Sure.
She was working, supporting, herself and our son and all that, and doing all those things. And so it wasn't, again, like I saw her on a regular basis. And those minutes went so fast.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, everything starts playing with you. The devil does, and I'm convinced of the devil when you get inside, because statistics tell us 70 to 80% of men that go to prison get divorced.
Wow.
They tell us that 100% of women that go to prison get divorced. Now, I'm sure it's 99 point something,
sure.
but
Right.
those are not good odds.
No.
Mm.
And literally every week I would know somebody who got a Dear John letter from his wife.
Wow.
Yes, I'm going to stick by you. It's going to be great. And then they'd been there a month, a year, 3 years,
Yeah.
and I'm filed for divorce.
Wow.
So you're kind of in that
Yeah, because I was
waiting
Yeah.
for that shoe to fall, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
because we have the privilege of knowing Beth.
Yeah.
And Beth is
Amazing.
amazing,
Yeah.
right? She's a
Amazing.
saint.
Yeah.
Was there just constant fear that letter was going to come, or was she reassuring you?
Oh, she was definitely reassuring me that it wasn't going to happen, and I think God blessing us with a son that she literally gave birth to while I was in prison was actually a good thing, because it kept her preoccupied. And
Sure.
she's an amazing woman. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she would have done anything, but it just kept her preoccupied
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah,
that
raising
was
a little one.
God's way of helping protect our family. as well as blessing us with an amazing kid. But yeah, I mean, she was always very reassuring. But at the same point, I'm a very high needs ADD guy. Okay,
Yeah.
I am not your typical macho guy that you don't have to tell me you love me. No, I want you to tell me you love me frickin' all the time.
Jonathan, we love you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I
it.
love you.
Deep.
And I want it to come through so that I don't question it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
And
That makes sense.
that was hard in prison
Yeah.
because you learn to question everything.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you're good.
So that was probably the hardest thing I had to deal with. And, problem is sometimes husband and wives, imagine this, we don't always see eye to eye. And sometimes in that 15-minute call that I had, because they were broken up in 15-minute segments, we'd be at minute 14, 37 seconds and something would go wrong and you've got 12 seconds or whatever
Fix it.
to try to fix it. And I'm not talking to her for a week.
Wow.
Jeez.
And I'd love
Yeah.
to say that I was brilliant and the perfect husband and we always solved it, but I was a needy man. And there were times that she just didn't know what to do with me because she couldn't say the right things fast enough
Yeah.
for me to get off that call and feel reassured for the next 7 days.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Beth. I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she just wasn't capable. Nobody was capable
Yeah.
of saying what I needed to, or thought I needed to hear. And again, in a weird way, I really think that was part of God's plan because he forced us to focus on him.
Yeah.
And we did. I'd been there a couple weeks and my aunt had sent me a letter. I'll never forget. She was very supportive, very nice, very good about everything. And then she shared a verse with me that I'd read but never had hit home with me. Excuse me. And it was Philippians 4, 6, and 7. And she said, you probably heard this, and everything, bring your prayers and supplications to Christ, and the overwhelming peace of Jesus Christ will surround you. And I said, oh, yeah. And she put in her notice, she goes, but you probably didn't read the whole verse. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Aunt Sharon? And, of course, I'm reading the letter that she sent me.
Yeah.
And she goes, there's 2 words in there that she goes, I missed for most of my life, and I think you've missed.
Wow.
With thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
She goes, the verse isn't bring all of your needs to me and your supplications to me and the overwhelming peace of Jesus Christ will surround you. It's bring all of that to me with thanksgiving.
Yikes.
Yeah, that'll preach.
So good.
And I was
dude.
like,
Yeah.
wow. I wasn't living a thankful and gratitude-filled life. I was not. I mean, I tried, but I wasn't. And that was one of those straw that broke the camel's back, whatever.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments that switched, and I realized I need to live a life of gratitude and go, okay, it sucks. I'm in prison. My wife and my son are ways away. My oldest son, Travis, from my first marriage, I'm talking to him a couple times a month, but that's it. And, he's 12 years old. This just sucks in every way possible.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful because they both got homes. They're both warm. They're both fed. I actually get to talk to them a couple times a month. And about every 3 months, they drive down and see me.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Am I not blessed?
Yeah.
When I had to pivot the whole way I looked at things.
Yeah. Reframe.
Yeah.
And that has changed my entire life.
Wow. Okay, a couple thoughts. First of all, first thought is when you picked up that water bottle, it's the biggest water bottle I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. You picked it up and I was like, how did I not see that?
That makes that puts Stanley ladies to shame, man.
I feel like, and I'm going to ask Sadie here, who's running all of the production and stuff. Are we allowed to do a 2-part? Because we try to keep this right around 45 minutes and we do, to keep our quality up, for video and stuff like that.
We've asked one question.
We have so much. You're still in prison at this point.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
No, but this is amazing. And I really want to press into a couple different pieces of this.
Right.
Are we allowed to do that, or does that mess up schedules and all of that
I've
stuff?
I've got another hour yet.
Excellent. So. Okay. So
I gotta be done.
I want to ask.
I gotta be done by 2.
Nice.
Personally,
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question.
See you later.
Have fun. Joke's on you.
Yeah.
No, we will be good.
Youth group tonight. Sorry. Yeah.
I want to ask this, and then maybe we'll just keep on hammering through. With the gratitude, I've practiced gratitude. There was a monk at a monastery that I went to, and I did a silent retreat for 3 days. And he told me for one entire 24-hour period, all I was allowed to do was to focus on gratitude. And I was like, that's impossible. How am I supposed to do that? And it literally changed my perspective on gratitude, right? did you have to constantly remind yourself to
Oh,
be
yeah.
grateful? So
All
it
the
wasn't
time.
just like it hit and that perspective
Right.
shift happened. It was a constant reminder of gratitude.
Yeah.
It's like me dieting. You know, I need to lose weight, and I've done some of that. But every time I see a slice of pizza, I still want to eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, and sometimes I
Yeah.
still do. So I'm not grateful in every situation. I think it's C.S. Lewis. They say that said the closer you get to Jesus Christ, the further away you realize you are.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that was him or not, but I'll ask
Sounds-
ChatGPT and it'll tell me it was 4 other people. So, yeah, sorry, side joke. But
You're the AI expert.
yeah,
too.
yeah.
As you get into it, I think that's what I realized is that prior to this happening, I thought I was pretty grateful for things in life. I thought I lived a pretty good life before I met Beth and got back in church. I thought, I love Jesus Christ, and I believe God is who He is, and Jesus is Son, and I'm saved. But geez, I want bourbon and women and all those other things. So we'll get back to Jesus later.
Yeah.
And I must be doing okay because I'm doing good financially and everything. So you kind of look at it and you justify it, and then
Yep.
I think the closer and the more you try to work towards that, the further away I realize I am. Not that I'm not further along than what I was, but I just was so clueless about where I was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
So good, man.
That's
Yeah.
really, really
Super
good.
helpful.